Hi, I'm Samia.
And I'm Eric.
And today we're gonna recreate a Pokey from the Nintendo Mario Brothers series.
Let's go!
So I'll put all the materials needed for this project in the description box. And let's get started. The first step is to paint the styrofoam balls in a yellow or sandy color. I just added some brown acrylics to the yellow to make it a little darker. Make sure you mix enough because the styrofoams are very porous and you want to make sure that you cover all the crevices. Once they are all painted, just set aside. Now it's time to make the spikes, and for that I used bake oven clay. And you can use any clay you have in hand. You can use air dry clay or any other clay. I'm making the main 3 spikes that are the ones that go on the Pokey's head, and those are bigger than the rest of the spikes. Just try to make them even. After that, you want to make sure that you make enough of the small spikes to go throughout the Pokey's body. And to try to keep them even, I just made little balls before shaping them into spikes. Now they are ready to bake. And now that they are baked, I'm gonna sand them very lightly just to take out any imperfections or fingerprints that could be left on there. After sanding them all, I just wipe them with a damp cloth or paper towel to take out any dust. And to get them ready to paint, I just used a masking tape on cardboard to have a little way to have them all in order and easier to paint. I did about 3 or 4 coats of paint depending on how you like it. I wasn't happy with how it was turning out, so I did 4 coats. Now that the styrofoams have dried, it's time to glue them all together, and you want to make sure it has that signature wiggle that the Pokeys have. I used toothpicks for extra support and regular white glue to keep them together. Make sure you clean up all the excess glue.
Now this Pokey needs a face. The best way to go about this that I found is pretending it's like a big, well, small jack-o'-lantern. So using the character model to go off of, just draw your eyes in the place about where you want them, and then you can use those to place the mouth accordingly. Also, because of the texture on these styrofoam balls, you have to press a little harder with the pencil, which actually will score the lines a little, and it's going to kind of start you on the carving lines. So then we're just going to use an Exacto Knife, tape off the end, and that'll keep your depth, the depth of your cuts even. So you want to carefully now go along your pencil lines, taking care not to cut yourself. And this is just a flat sort of spade-shaped tool. We're going to use that and just dig out the rest of the excess for the mouth and for the eyes. You want to take care to keep the edges as clean as possible. Now once all of this material is removed, we're going to use some black air dry clay, and it's just going to allow us to smooth in where the eyes and the mouth holes exist. Do the same thing with the eyes. Make sure you fill all the way to your edges so you don't see any of the white of the styrofoam. And then use some sort of tool when smoothing these out because the fingerprints really show up in there. Then once that's dried its appropriate amount of time, just take a black acrylic paint and paint over the clay, and that's just going to give you a darker color of black than the actual clay. It was kind of more of a dark gray.
Now on to making the eyes and the tongue, and for that I used packaging cardstock, or you can use any cardstock really that it's white, and cut the shapes and position them how you want it. Make sure they are even and they look good. And now for the tongue, I just used a marker to color it pink. Once you know where you want to put all the face details, use super glue and attach them to the Pokey face. There you go. The face is ready.
It looks like a bald Pokey.
It is bald. Now to add the spikes, what we did here, they look shiny because we gave it a glossy clear coat. And this is optional if you need to do it, if you want to do it. If not, it's okay too. I just like how the shiny spikes look. And now to glue the spikes onto the Pokies, you gotta be sturdy but also careful, making the indentation in the foam ball. And this just helps give it an organic look, that it's actually, the spikes are actually coming out of the Pokey. And I also use super glue on this one. And like I said before, these are the three main spikes. These are the bigger spikes. And make sure you keep looking at a reference picture. And at the end of the day, the smaller ones on the body are just randomly placed. But you want to make sure at least the head one is accurate, because it's always the same. And there you go, the head is done, and we're just adding some more on the body. there it is, all the spikes. For the base, I just used a small wooden disc that I glued some sand onto it, since they are in the desert, and added some toothpicks on the bottom for extra support. And I glued that base with hot glue gun. Make sure it balances, and there it is. The base and the Pokey are ready. We took a picture with this Pokey, and I hope you enjoy it and like it. You can always head over to @everydaylink on Instagram and check out the other toy photography pictures we've done. And if you end up making this, please tag us. We would love to see what you make. Make sure to like, subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Bye!